boxing-wise, he's going to give. I think boxing-wise, he's going to give Canelo fits. Don't believe he can hurt Canelo. Just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful.
I always wonder, well, people say that, no, Canelo was going down and he hadn't had enough, that there might be an excuse for that. So.
Stephen A. Smith has weighed in on Canelo Alvarez's noticeably bulked-up look heading into the Terence Crawford showdown, sparking fresh debate about how the size gap could shift the fight's momentum. While he openly calls Crawford the more polished boxer, Smith cautions that if Crawford fails to deliver enough power to make Canelo respect him, the fight could quickly tilt out of his control. His remarks put a spotlight on the physical mismatch and the uncertainty it brings to one of boxing's most anticipated encounters.
You know what, I think my initial reaction would be to say that I think that Crawford would be the superior boxer, as great as Canelo is, as seasoned as he is, with 65 fights, if I recall, on his record. I think boxing-wise, he's going to give Canelo fits. Don't believe he can hurt Canelo. Just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful. Again, Crawford is the superior boxer. But if he can't hurt Canelo, he can't keep him off. He says it's a legacy fight, and he believes he can do the same, and he wants to do the same against a fighter the caliber of Canelo Alvarez, which is why we haven't really seen him in the ring against anybody else. Fortunately, that's the business of boxing. He's a victim of it, not a villain.
Canelo's longtime coach, Eddie Reynoso, has once again responded to long-standing whispers linking his camp to performance-enhancing drugs. Over the years, critics have accused him of turning a blind eye or even supplying banned substances to fighters training under his guidance. Reynoso has pushed back strongly, stressing that each boxer, Canelo included, handles their own diet and supplementation. He insists his job begins and ends with sharpening skills, building strategies, and preparing fighters mentally. With Canelo's size becoming a hot topic before the Crawford clash, Reynoso's stance is meant to distance himself from any claims of directly influencing nutrition or banned substances.
Eddie Reynoso says, starting now, I'll be working 100% with a team that I can supervise. I've let the boxers who have come to me to train have their own nutrition team. So all of these fighters popping because of their nutrition team. Eddie Reynoso is guilty by association, so you have to clear the shit up. That's what I was saying about Victor Conte when he came with his transparency. I'm doing the same now with Eddie Reynoso. He knows he has to clean that shit up. I suggest to Eddie Reynoso, if you're going to be 100% in control of the nutrition team, join Snacks. They got hyper-exfoliated, futuristic, hydraulic change. Get Nello on Snacks. Hey, brother, Nello on Snacks with the futuristic 1.121 gigawatt, brother, please.
Despite coaching several fighters, reports suggest around 7, who have failed PED screenings, Eddie Reynoso maintains this has no bearing on Canelo Alvarez's reputation. He argues that every situation is unique, and responsibility, ultimately, falls on the athletes themselves for what they consume. Regarding Canelo, Reynoso insists his star pupil has always run a disciplined, clean program, paying meticulous attention to everything from meals to supplements to avoid controversy.
Boxing corruption at its absolute finest, but how does it connect to Eddie Reynoso and Canelo team? So Rodriguez Jr. failed his test after the Galal fight. He set the record for the most punches landed in that fight. It even prompted people like Sonny Edwards during the fight to say, this is weird. And yet, he will not be punished. In fact, he'll be kind of rewarded because he's going to get ordered an immediate rematch for the WBC belt. The only thing he's got to do is have a 12-month probation period with random testing. Now, WB are doing this because they have ruled it proven unintentional use. It just so happened he took stuff that was extremely beneficial to his conditioning. Here is the WBC official statement. Feel free to pause this and read it. But what's it got to do with these two fine gentlemen? Well, Rodriguez Jr. is part of Canelo team, and he was rumoured to be managed by Eddie Reynoso. Eddie Reynoso since came out and said, no, I don't manage him, blah, 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 and he distanced himself. Now, why that's important is because Eddie Reynoso has been connected to, I think now, 6 or 7 fighters who have all failed their drugs tests. The rumour around town and this is just a rumour, and definitely not true, is that these two may have smoothed things over with the WBC, maybe used their position of power to get Rodriguez Jr. a bit of a lenient sentence, put it that way. Again, that's not true, I've just completely made that up. But what is unbelievable is that a fighter nowadays can actually fail a drugs test and not be punished whatsoever. In fact, can be rewarded. Unbelievable.
Terence Crawford's strength and conditioning coach hasn't minced words before fight night, boldly claiming that Bud will break Canelo down piece by piece. He explained that Crawford's preparation has been relentless, with a razor-sharp focus on stamina, power, and overall conditioning. The camp believes this combination will be enough to neutralize Canelo's size and elite experience. According to him, their training is laser-targeted and tactical, designed to keep Crawford strong in every round. The statement has only intensified hype, with fans now debating whether Crawford's punch power will carry at this new weight class against one of boxing's toughest champions.
Listen, I get a lot of texts asking how I'm doing, how camp is going, so I figured I could just put it up in one post. So I'm in the mountains. This dude's about to beat the brakes off Canelo and be the greatest boxer of all time, and I get to play a part in it. All is well, truly well. We good. I'm good. I'm real good.
Many boxing analysts are pointing to the ring size as a hidden X factor that could decide this battle. In a full-sized ring, Crawford would have the space to rely on movement, speed, and clever angles to keep Canelo chasing. History shows Canelo struggles against mobile opponents who stay disciplined at range, with his loss to Dmitry Bivol being a prime example. When forced to follow instead of trade, Canelo's rhythm often unravels. If the ring dimensions lean toward mobility, Crawford's chances of dictating tempo improve dramatically. But if Canelo closes distance quickly, fans may be in for a much rougher close-quarters war.
The ring is standard size. I think Bud beats his ass all around the ring for 12 rounds. If Canelo want to come forward and get the whooping, that's what he going to get. But that's the thing. In that last Skull fight, he didn't want to take the fight to Skull. So if Canelo don't come to fight, I don't want to see Crawford stand in the middle of the ring and take that type of risk. Because Crawford, you talk about retirement, he can still go on after this. So he ain't got to take that punishment. He can run it back with him. I don't want Crawford forced into a dog fight with Canelo. No, I think he going to whoop his ass off. So
respected broadcaster Jim Gray has also shared his perspective, calling the matchup one of the best possible between two fighters whose careers already carry historic weight. He applauded Canelo for thriving across numerous divisions, while equally praising Crawford for dominating his own. Gray emphasized this isn't just a battle for championship belts, it's about legacy. Both men are fighting to cement their standing in the history books, making the stakes even greater than the titles on the line.
I think we want to see the best fight the best. And even though there's been a difference in weight divisions here, I think that, you know, people clamor for big names and big fights and guys who are great to fight each other. So being for the institution, and I am for the institution of boxing, I think Canelo has been great for boxing, and I think Terence Crawford has been great for boxing. So how this is going to play out exactly, I don't know. You know, Terence Crawford is older, and Canelo has, what, twice as many rounds? So I don't know how that combination ends up. You know, the weight difference. Canelo's going to be a bigger man and a bigger frame, and coming up in that weight. So I think it's just going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be at the Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play, and it's going to be filled up, and we're going to have a huge, huge night for boxing for the world to see.
On follow-up, do you feel like Terence Crawford has the style to cause Canelo problems?
Does he have the style to what?
Cause Canelo problems.
Terence Crawford's a great fighter. Terence Crawford can give anybody problems. Whether or not he will, you know, I don't have that crystal ball. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Veteran trainer Abel Sanchez isn't convinced Crawford can overcome the natural size difference. He explained that weight classes exist for a reason. Skill matters, but raw size and strength can't simply be ignored. Sanchez warned that Canelo's Natural power at this weight class will present a serious challenge for Crawford as he moves up. In his eyes, even a fighter as talented as Crawford will find it extremely difficult to erase those physical disadvantages once the punches start flying.
As everybody has opinions, and my opinion is that I think Canelo will be too big for him. I think Crawford needed a little more seasoning, a little more seasoning of his weight, that is. He's had a year and hasn't had really any fights against those caliber fighters. The last fight he had a 154-pounder, moved up one division, and had a difficult time in a way that he wasn't dominating as he did in the lower divisions. You talk about a guy in Canelo who's really only bad outing was at the Bivol fight, and Bivol, when I first talked about that fight, when they asked me, Bivol is a Gennady Golovkin just 15 pounds heavier. Same skills, maybe not the punching power, but very skilled. So anybody below 75, Canelo has dominated easily. After the 5th or 6th round, it seems to be sparring sessions for him. So I think that he does very well, and I think he wears Crawford out and wins a going-away decision. Crawford is an all-time great, obviously, but there's weight divisions,
Definitely as well. Abel, I'll leave it there, but I'll leave you with the